We all know that feeling, the nagging headache that just won't quit, the persistent backache that makes every movement a chore. Pain is a universal experience. But what if I told you there's a whole world of natural pain relief options beyond the pills we often reach for?
Yeah, it's fascinating how, for generations, we've been conditioned to think a pill is the only answer.
Hmm.
But there's a growing movement towards a more holistic approach, and that's what we're diving into today.
Right, we're taking a deep dive into natural pain relief, solutions beyond painkillers, to help you understand the potential risks of common painkillers and explore some really effective alternatives. So if you're interested in taking a more natural approach to managing pain, you're in the right place.
Absolutely. What's really interesting is that many people believe over-the-counter painkillers are completely harmless, but long-term use of NSAIDs like ibuprofen can actually have some pretty serious consequences.
I have to admit, I'm guilty of popping an ibuprofen at the slightest hint of a headache. I always thought they were pretty harmless. What kind of risks are we talking about?
Well, for starters, NSAIDs can lead to gastrointestinal issues like ulcers and bleeding. They can also damage the kidneys, especially with prolonged use. And there's even evidence suggesting they can increase the risk of heart problems.
Wow, that's a lot more serious than I realized. I guess those warnings on the label are there for a reason.
Exactly. And it's not just ibuprofen. Even acetaminophen, which many people consider to be a very gentle painkiller, has a dark side. Excessive or long-term use can lead to liver damage.
Okay, so even Tylenol isn't as harmless as we might think. And then there's the big one, prescription opioids.
Yes, opioids are incredibly effective for managing severe pain, but as we know, they carry a huge risk of addiction and dependence.
And that risk is a major contributor to the opioid crisis that's affecting so many people around the world. It's a stark reminder that even when prescribed by a doctor, these medications need to be handled with extreme caution.
Absolutely. The potential for dependence and the serious side effects associated with conventional painkillers really highlight the need for exploring natural alternatives.
So what are some of those alternatives? What can we do to manage pain without relying on pills?
Well, one of the most powerful tools you have is surprisingly simple. Food.
Food. You mean like eating certain things can actually help with pain?
Exactly. It's all about embracing the concept of food as medicine.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more. How does food play a role in pain management?
Well, inflammation is often at the root of pain. Whether it's a sore muscle, a stiff joint, or a chronic condition. And the fascinating thing is that certain foods can either contribute to or fight inflammation in the body.
So by making smart choices about what we eat, we can actually influence our body's inflammatory response and potentially reduce pain.
Got it. It's about incorporating more anti-inflammatory foods into your diet.
That makes a lot of sense. So what types of foods are we talking about? Give me some examples.
One of the most potent anti-inflammatory foods is fatty fish, like salmon, mackerel, and sardines. They're packed with omega-3 fatty acids, which have been shown to reduce inflammation throughout the body.
Omega-3s, I've definitely heard those mentioned in connection with health benefits. But how do they actually work to reduce pain?
Omega-3s work on a cellular level to inhibit the production of pro-inflammatory molecules. And studies have shown they can be particularly helpful for pain associated with conditions like arthritis, as well as general muscle soreness and stiffness.
So it's not just about some vague idea of being healthy. There's a real tangible mechanism behind how omega-3s can help.
Absolutely. And the benefits go beyond just pain relief. Omega-3s are also crucial for heart health, brain function, and mood regulation.
That's amazing. It's like a win-win situation. You're getting pain relief and you're supporting your overall health at the same time.
Exactly. And the best part is incorporating fatty fish into your diet is relatively easy. You could aim for 2 servings a week.
Okay, that seems manageable.
Yeah.
What other anti-inflammatory foods should we be aware of?
Well, another powerhouse is turmeric. That bright yellow spice that gives curry its vibrant color has been used in traditional medicine for centuries.
I love turmeric. I use it in all sorts of dishes. It adds such a warm, earthy flavor. What makes it so special?
The magic of turmeric lies in a compound called curcumin, which has potent anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties.
Curcumin, it almost sounds like a superhero name.
It kind of is. Curcumin has been shown to be as effective as some NSAIDs in reducing pain and inflammation.
Wow, that's impressive. So we've got fatty fish and turmeric on our list of pain-fighting foods. What else should we add?
Ginger is another great one. It's often used to relieve nausea, but it also has anti-inflammatory properties that can be helpful for muscle pain and joint pain.
So if I'm feeling sore after a workout, ginger might be a good choice.
Absolutely. You could try adding fresh ginger to smoothies or stir-fries or even brewing a cup of ginger tea.
Okay, so we're talking about real, everyday foods that we can easily incorporate into our meals. It's not about following some complicated diet plan. It's about making simple swaps and additions that can have a real impact on our pain levels.
You've got it. And the great thing is these foods are delicious and versatile. You can get creative in the kitchen and find ways to enjoy them that suit your taste.
This is all incredibly fascinating, but I know some people might be thinking, okay, food is great, but what about those times when I need more immediate relief? Are there natural options that can work quickly?
Absolutely. And that's where nature's pharmacy comes in the world of herbal remedies.
Let's talk about that after a quick break.
Yeah.
When we come back, we'll dive into the fascinating world of plants and how they can provide natural pain relief. Welcome back. You know, before modern medicine, people relied on plants for healing and pain relief. It's amazing to think about how much knowledge about nature's pharmacy has been passed down through generations.
It really is. And the fascinating thing is that many of these ancient remedies are still effective today. They offer a gentle yet powerful approach to pain management.
Okay, so let's talk about some specific plants that can help with pain. What are some of the standouts mentioned in our source material?
One that's really interesting is boswellia. It's also known as frankincense. It's been used for centuries in traditional medicine to treat a variety of conditions, including arthritis.
Frankincense. It sounds so exotic. I usually associate it with perfumes and incense.
It does have a beautiful aroma, but it also has some potent anti-inflammatory properties. It works by inhibiting the production of inflammatory chemicals in the body.
So it's like a natural alternative to NSAIDs.
In a way, yes.
Yeah.
While it might not be as fast-acting as conventional painkillers, boswellia can provide sustained relief and doesn't come with the same risks of side effects.
That's good to know. What other plant-based pain relievers are out there?
Another one that's quite well known is willow bark. You might be surprised to learn that it's actually a natural source of salicin, which is a compound similar to aspirin.
Wait, really? So willow bark is like nature's aspirin. That's fascinating. What kind of pain is it good for?
It's often used for headaches, fever, and joint pain. It works by reducing inflammation and blocking pain signals.
So if I have a headache, instead of reaching for a bottle of aspirin, I could try willow bark.
It's certainly an option worth exploring. Keep in mind, though, that while willow bark is generally safe, it's important to talk to your doctor before using it, especially if you're taking other medications or have any underlying health conditions.
That's a good reminder. We should always be cautious when trying new remedies, even if they're natural. Okay, so we've got boswellia, willow bark. What else is on our list of plant-based pain relievers?
Our source material also mentions devil's claw, which is a plant native to southern Africa.
Devil's claw. That sounds a bit intimidating. What's the story behind that one?
It gets its name from the hooked claws on its fruit, but don't let the name scare you. It's actually a very effective pain reliever. It's been traditionally used to treat back pain, arthritis, and other inflammatory conditions.
How does it work?
Devil's claw contains compounds that have anti-inflammatory and analgesic effects. They help to reduce pain and swelling.
So it's another natural alternative to conventional painkillers.
Yes, and is gaining popularity as more and more people are looking for gentle yet effective ways to manage pain.
This is all so interesting. It's amazing how nature provides solutions for so many health issues.
It really is. And speaking of natural solutions, we can't forget about one that's been getting a lot of attention lately. CBD.
CBD or cannabidiol. It's a compound found in cannabis, right?
Yes. But unlike THC, which is the psychoactive component of cannabis, CBD is non-psychoactive, meaning it won't get you high.
Okay, so it's not about getting high, it's about the potential therapeutic benefits.
Exactly. There's growing evidence that CBD can be effective in managing various types of pain. It interacts with the body's endocannabinoid system, which plays a role in regulating pain, inflammation, and mood.
What kind of research has been done on CBD for pain relief?
There have been numerous studies, both preclinical and clinical, that suggest CBD may be helpful for conditions like chronic pain, arthritis, and nerve pain.
That's promising. But is it safe?
CBD is generally well tolerated with minimal side effects. However, it's important to note that it can interact with certain medications, so it's crucial to talk to your doctor before using it, especially if you're taking other medications.
Good point. It's always best to err on the side of caution. Okay, so we've covered food as medicine and we've explored the world of herbal pain relievers. But I know there's another aspect of natural pain relief that's really important. Movement.
You're absolutely right. Sometimes the best way to alleviate pain is to get your body moving.
I know it sounds counterintuitive. When you're in pain, the last thing you want to do is exercise. But how does movement actually help?
Well, think about it this way. When you're inactive, your muscles can become stiff and weak, which can actually worsen pain. Movement helps to improve circulation, increase flexibility, and strengthen the muscles that support your joints.
So it's about breaking that cycle of pain and inactivity.
Exactly. It's about finding ways to move your body that feel good and don't exacerbate your pain.
Our source material mentions a few different types of exercises that can be beneficial for pain relief. Let's talk about those.
Sure. Yoga is a great option. It combines gentle stretching, deep breathing, and mindfulness, which can be incredibly helpful for both physical and emotional pain.
I can see how yoga would be particularly beneficial for stress-related pain because it helps to relax the body and calm the mind.
Absolutely. It's a wonderful practice for promoting overall well-being.
What about Tai Chi? I've seen people doing it in the park. It looks so graceful and fluid.
Tai Chi is a gentle form of exercise that involves slow-flowing movements. It's often described as meditation in motion, and it's been shown to be very effective for reducing chronic pain conditions like fibromyalgia.
For those who aren't familiar with fibromyalgia, it's a disorder that causes widespread musculoskeletal pain along with fatigue, sleep problems, and mood issues.
Right, it's a complex condition.
Yeah.
And Tai Chi can be a valuable tool for managing the symptoms.
So we've got yoga and Tai Chi. What about something a bit more vigorous? Is strength training a good option for pain relief?
Strength training can be incredibly beneficial for pain management, but it's important to do it safely and correctly. Building strength in the muscles that support your joints can help to prevent injuries and reduce strain.
I imagine it's especially important for people with conditions like arthritis to maintain muscle strength around the affected joints.
Absolutely. Strong muscles act like shock absorbers and help to protect the joints.
And I bet swimming is a great option for people with joint pain because it's low impact and doesn't put a lot of stress on the body.
You're exactly right. Swimming is a fantastic way to get a full body workout without jarring your joints. The buoyancy of the water supports your weight and allows you to move freely.
It sounds like there's really an exercise option for everyone, regardless of their pain level or physical limitations.
Absolutely. The key is to find activities you enjoy and that you can stick with. It shouldn't feel like a chore.
I love that. It's about finding movement that feels good for both your body and your mind.
Exactly. And speaking of the mind-body connection, there are a few more natural pain relief options we should explore. Options that tap into the power of your thoughts and beliefs to influence your experience of pain.
Okay, I'm ready to dive into that. Let's explore those mind-body techniques. Okay, I'm ready to dive into that. Let's explore those mind-body techniques.
Right. The mind-body connection is a fascinating area. It really highlights how our thoughts, emotions, and beliefs can influence our physical experiences, including pain.
Yeah, I find that concept really empowering. It means we're not just victims to pain. We have the ability to influence how we perceive it and cope with it.
Exactly. One of the most powerful techniques for harnessing the mind-body connection is meditation.
Okay, I've heard a lot about meditation, but how does it actually help with pain?
Well, meditation helps us develop a different relationship with pain. Instead of getting caught up in the struggle and resistance, we learn to observe the pain with a sense of detachment and acceptance.
So it's not about trying to make the pain disappear, but rather about changing how we relate to it.
Precisely. It's about creating space between you and the pain so it doesn't consume you.
That makes sense. What about breathing exercises? I know deep breathing is supposed to be relaxing, but how does it tie into pain relief?
Well, deep, slow breathing actually activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for the relaxation response. When we're in pain, our bodies often go into fight or flight mode, which tenses muscles and amplifies pain signals.
So by consciously slowing down our breath, we can counteract that stress response and calm our nervous systems.
Exactly. And that can have a profound impact on how we experience pain.
I'm starting to see how powerful these mind-body techniques can be. They give us a sense of control over something that can often feel very overwhelming.
Absolutely. And there's another technique I want to mention, guided visualization.
Okay, guided visualization. That sounds intriguing. What is it exactly?
Guided visualization is all about using your imagination to create mental images that promote relaxation and well-being. It can be as simple as picturing yourself in a peaceful place, or it can involve more elaborate scenarios that help you reframe your experience of pain.
So if I'm imagining myself on a beach somewhere, soaking up the sun and feeling relaxed, that can actually help me manage my pain.
It can? It might sound a bit out there, but research suggests that guided visualization can distract from pain, reduce anxiety, and even influence the brain's perception of discomfort.
Wow, the power of the mind is truly incredible. So we've covered meditation, breathing exercises, and guided visualization. Are there any other mind-body techniques we should be aware of?
Well, there are many, but the ones we've discussed are a great starting point. The key is to find what resonates with you and practice regularly.
Yeah, these techniques really highlight the interconnectedness of our minds and bodies. It's amazing how much influence our thoughts and emotions can have on our physical well-being.
Absolutely. And speaking of powerful connections, let's talk about another natural ally in our pain relief journey, essential oils.
Okay, I love essential oils. They smell amazing, but how can they help with pain?
Well, essential oils are concentrated extracts from plants that contain potent therapeutic compounds. And many of these compounds have analgesic and anti-inflammatory properties that can be incredibly helpful for pain relief.
So which essential oils are particularly good for pain?
Lavender is a classic for relaxation and calming the nervous system. It's often used to ease headaches, muscle tension, and sleep problems.
I love the scent of lavender. It's so soothing.
It is. And it's a gentle, versatile oil that can be used in a variety of ways, from diffusing it in your home to adding a few drops to your bath water.
What about peppermint oil? I've heard that's good for headaches.
You're right. Peppermint oil has a cooling and invigorating effect that can help to ease headaches and muscle soreness. You can apply it topically to the temples or the back of the neck, or even inhale it directly from the bottle.
And what about eucalyptus? I always associate that with decongestants.
Eucalyptus is great for respiratory issues, but it also has anti-inflammatory properties that can be helpful for joint pain and muscle aches.
So it's kind of a multitasker.
It is. And then there's rosemary, which is known for improving circulation. That can be really helpful for relieving joint pain and muscle stiffness.
So many amazing options. But I think it's important to remind our listeners that essential oils are potent and need to be used safely.
Absolutely. Always dilute essential oils in a carrier oil before applying them to the skin, and do a patch test to make sure you don't have any adverse reactions. And if you're pregnant, breastfeeding, or have any underlying health conditions, it's best to talk to your doctor or a qualified aromatherapist before using essential oils.
Those are all really important points. Safety first. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground today, from food and herbs to movement and the mind-body connection. But before we wrap things up, there's one more classic remedy I want to touch on: temperature therapy.
Ah, yes. Sometimes the simplest solutions are the most effective. And when it comes to pain relief, heat and cold therapy can be incredibly powerful.
Yeah, I think most of us have instinctively used heat or cold for pain at some point. But let's talk about the science behind it. How does heat therapy actually work?
Heat increases blood flow to the affected area, which helps to relax muscles, ease stiffness, and reduce pain. Think about how good a warm bath or a heating pad feels when your muscles are sore.
It's like instant relief. And what about cold therapy? How does that work?
Cold therapy has the opposite effect. It constricts blood vessels, which helps to reduce swelling, inflammation, and numb acute pain. That's why you apply ice to an injury.
Okay, that makes sense. So heat for relaxing and loosening things up, and cold for reducing swelling and numbing pain.
Exactly. And the great thing is that both heat and cold therapy are readily accessible and relatively inexpensive.
So how can we use these therapies safely and effectively?
Well, when applying heat, make sure it's not too hot to the touch. You don't want to burn yourself.
Yeah.
And never apply heat directly to broken or irritated skin.
And for cold therapy?
For cold therapy, never apply ice directly to your skin. Wrap it in a towel or cloth first. And don't apply cold for more than 20 minutes at a time to avoid tissue damage.
Those are really helpful tips.
Yeah.
So as you can see, there are so many natural ways to manage pain. And what's really empowering about this deep dive is that it gives you a sense of agency. You're not just stuck relying on pills. You have other choices.
Absolutely. And remember, this is just the beginning of your exploration. There's a wealth of information out there, and it's empowering to take control of your health and explore these natural approaches.
I think that's a great takeaway. Pain doesn't have to rule your life. There are things you can do naturally to ease your discomfort and improve your overall well-being.
I completely agree. And remember, it's about finding what works best for you. Experiment, be patient, and don't hesitate to seek guidance from a healthcare professional who can help you create a personalized plan that aligns with your individual needs.
Well said. Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into natural pain relief. I hope you found this exploration informative and empowering, and that you feel inspired to explore some of these amazing natural pain relief options. We'll see you next time for another deep dive.